I'm filming this late night because I think it's an important message. Anyway, I'm putting in extra work before I go for my staycation. Today, I would like to address this question. Why don't we sell everything? If we feel that markets are going down and then we buy back somewhere down the road again. Now, this is a story. It could be you or it could be someone else. But when I use the word you, it's not meant to be personal. It's just a depiction of someone who has this deep-seated question of selling out and then buying back later because everything looks so bad right now. The story goes like this. You know of this company shares. You see it around on social media. There are real stories of people who have made gains already. The company is good. It's in a fast-growing space. And the last time you checked it, previously, before buying it, it was 20% cheaper. Now you find comfort in knowing that you have finally found a good company that could be a good investment. And 20% profits, it is actually quite possible in your opinion when you bought it. Now even some people said this stock could 10x. And many have gave it a target price that was way higher. Now the main thing is you don't want that pain of losing money, correct? That has to be avoided because Warren Buffett has mentioned before. Rule number 1, don't ever lose money. Rule number 2, refer to rule number 1, don't ever lose money. And that's why you decide to buy that share because you wanted something that was good, something that was sound, something that has a good share price performance. But after you bought, there was a small drop, 10%, and then 20%. From past records, each time it dropped down, it rebounded pretty quickly. And it only took a few weeks for it to recover in terms of share price. So when it came down this time round, you bought a bit more even. Now this is what Warren Buffett has also said, correct? Be greedy when others are fearful. So you bought even more. But oddly, this time round, it didn't rebound. In fact, it continued to go lower. Why didn't it rebound? It was supposed to rebound. You didn't want to get stuck in a position that looked so big. You didn't want to lose money, but what to do right now? This is a stage of denial. My investments are with great companies. It will come back. Hold on to them. At this stage, you hated anyone who said that the worst is yet to come. You looked around in forums, in Discord groups, in your friend circle for confirmation biases. People who are on the same boat as you. Now, luckily they are because it felt very comforting knowing that if things turn south, you're not the only one. Then you come about news such as this. Inflation breaking new highs. The Fed is losing control. Fed could raise interest rates by 100 basis points or 75 basis points. What is that? What does that even mean? And why is the stock market crashing because of such a news? As you look around for comments, as you look around for peer explanation, you realize that it seems quite serious. And some of them are selling out already. Shucks. These were the same people that give you some comfort in knowing that this dip is just temporary, that it could all rebound. And this crash right now, everybody's echoing is very real. Question is, how come nobody saw it? You didn't want to lose any more money. But how did all this happen so quickly was beyond your wildest imagination. Now the stress is really kicking in. This is a stage of panic. And quickly, this stage of panic turns to a stage of anger. In the stage of anger, the blame is on the government. The blame is on everything that is external. This time around, it's Fed. If you have a crystal ball, you'd see that the road ahead is very painful. You bite the bullet, you are looking to do the logical thing, and everything suggests to sell. It's a once in a while crisis, and selling out is the logical thing to do. Live to fight another day. Salvage back whatever there is. Maybe it's a mistake, but don't let this pain be too long lasting. Now, at the start of the video, I asked this question. Why don't we sell everything and then buy back again later? If the road ahead is down, why stick with it? If the recovery is 2-3 years, why wait for it? Isn't there a safer bet? Isn't there a safer time to reinvest? Isn't there no meaning in getting away from this loss? It doesn't make sense to lose money, correct? Do you realize something? And before you get there, press on the like button if you have followed through this story already. And it's something very important that you need to hear. It might be quite an eye-opener. What caused the loss of money? Is it this phase that you are in right now that is from anger all the way to depression? Or is it actually this, riding from the top all the way down to this panic and anger phase? You see it now? The very reason you didn't want to lose money is the very reason you lost money. There is no consistent investment method that any course can teach you. There's no expert that can guide you because you looked for what appeared to be a safe bet, because you preferred to only invest during good times. Hard to hear, but I mean well, and I present it as it should be for you to consider and further refine your own approach. There is no way that you can sell everything and come back in again, because there is this phase called the disbelief phase. In this disbelief phase, you realize that there is no way that you believe that things will turn brighter. That is why it is important to go through the entire bear process. If you are coachable, I've these few tips. The first tip, you can have a view of the market for leisure, but deep down you have to believe that markets are unpredictable in the short term, which means you don't take big directional bets, you don't take big swings in your position, sell everything, buy everything, because staying in the market has proven to be the best method. Tip number 2, you have to learn to filter away noise. What exactly is noise? Inflation news is a good example of noise, something I've shared on the members channel. That is very different from a company's poor performance causing it to crash in terms of price. Noise is a macro thing. You realize that mainly drives or explains the poor sentiment, but nothing more. Nothing fundamentally has changed to companies. Tip number 3, you have to be willing to take losses. If you exit hoping to avoid this further leg of loss, you likely repeat the cycle of looking for something that appears to not cause you to lose money down the road, which will be the very reason you will lose money again. Things that are inflated are typically popular, are typically after there are real stories of people who have made gains. Tip number 4, be prepared to invest when it is unpopular and be skeptical when it is popular. You have to practice looking for things in this area and be skeptical of things in this area. This requires critical thinking. It is something I preach on this channel. That's why you may have seen a certain style of how I've presented information, and you may have seen a certain style of ideas that are very different from all other channels. Practice it for yourself. You realize this is the secret to making real sustaining profits from the markets. It takes experience and it takes a certain level of humility to approaching Mr. Market. Hopefully this message is useful for you. Invest safe as always. Do the right steps for your family's financial freedom. And I'll sign off from here. Take care and goodbye.